Welcome to Get the Net, a fishing podcast that takes a deep dive into competitive events, fishing news, tips, tactics, and most importantly, interviews with some of the most interesting and in-tune anglers from Canada to the central U.S. We're leaving no stone unturned to bring you the most raw and authentic dock talk. My name is Jamie Bruce. While my resume says bass, my frying pan says walleye. I'm no stranger to the multi-species realm. Whether you're puttering on tackle, driving the bus, cutting the grass, or killing time in a 9 to 5, we'll try to give you something in every episode to take with you on the water, or at the very least, bring you a few laughs. All right, what's up, everybody? We're back on Get the Net, put the show on wheels today. As you can see, there's a bunch of deer heads and packs of tackle and all kinds of cool shit behind us. We're out at my buddy Bryan Gustafson's garage. He's going to hop on the show tonight. Bry's my oldest tournament team partner. He's a creator, owner, player, coach of Lake of the Woods Sports. So, what's up, bud?
Not much, buddy. It's been a solid 3 hours since I seen you last. So, same old.
Yeah. I did the pretend like, what's up, bud? Like I don't talk to you every 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's going on? Bunch of derbies have been happening.
Yeah, no, they're full swing. Pretty much you could fish one from July 1st till October 11th.
Yeah, you can fish more if you're into walleyes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much looking at those things as just swimming meat now instead of a prize tournament fish once bass season opens. So.
Yeah, my mom told me at Rainy, like, bring some walleyes home, not a problem. Yeah, even with that slot, yeah. Yeah, lemon every day. Here's your fish fry, Mom.
Yeah, nice little harvest. Well, before we get rolling a little further here, I'm like a couple days late on this podcast. Usually drop them every 2 weeks. We're a little bit late, getting cyberbullied a little bit, trying to get this drop going. But I had to compile a bunch of like stats and analytics the other day, and somehow we got up to 30,000 listening hours since April. Which is wild. Rated as the ninth most listened to sports podcast in Canada, which pretty much just tells me Canada is shitty sports podcasts. But whatever's been going on out there, whatever you guys have been doing, liking, subscribing, telling your buddies, whatever, it's working. So thanks, and thanks for showing up for another round here.
Oh, that's awesome. Ninth. I mean, you got to think there's some pretty banger hockey podcasts, or
maybe they're just not like in Canada. Like there's that Spit and Chicklets podcast. Maybe no one even tries because that one's pretty dialed.
Yeah. What's another good fishing one in Canada? Mercer's is pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that a bit.
Yeah, that's the biggest Canadian fishing one.
I believe that, probably handedly.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good one. And then I don't know, but like there's probably like a bunch of like. There's probably like a CFL one. Yeah. I don't know what they talk about.
Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting
curling.
Got to be a curling podcast, but that's you're niching down pretty good with curling, and like most people like curling aren't really that young and probably can't figure out iTunes or Spotify.
Whatever, keep it rolling, bud. It's nice. I've listened to them all, and I'm not I'm kind of just a Joe Rogan only podcast type guy. Keep it pretty simple. A couple other ones I'll sneak in, but
yeah. Well, right on. Before we get rolling, I gotta shout. Dom was supposed to be with us tonight. I don't know, what did he say?
It's his birthday.
Come on.
Yeah, I told him not to work today. He was going in anyways, and then last minute he said he was gonna go set up a bunch of trail cams and clean up some deer stands and all that jazz. So we got a side pot this year going on at the store. I don't quite remember the parameters, but it's definitely biggest buck, and there's a buy-in, and the buy-in's pretty puny, but I'm sure the chirping in the group chat's going to be off the hook, so I think all the boys are getting after the whitetails already.
Come on.
Yeah.
You guys kind of remind me in that Michael Jordan show, where they're like rolling dice or playing whatever games, gambling in the back. That's how it is at sports headquarters in Winnipeg. They got a beauty crew every Saturday. There's like a weigh-in. There's a weight loss contest. They're cheering each other on, eyeballing each other's lunches, gambling on that. One of the kids that works there, Devo, woke up this morning at 3 a.m., drove 5 hours to Rainy Lake because Dom, who runs the Winnipeg Stories, the bride's right-hand man. Happy birthday, Dom. He's an absolute beauty. But anyway, Devo was chirping the weights on Rainy Lake, and Dom said, well, you probably can't even catch 15 pounds there, and bet him $200. So the kid woke up this morning.
3 a.m. to drive to Rainy. He was not allowed to get any reconnaissance from me. Not even baits or areas or
no intel.
No intel. That was the rules, and I haven't got the report yet. So he's probably still in the water. It's 8:00.
Yeah,
he's crashing at my parents' place. And
nice one. He said, Dom said he proceeded to watch every YouTube video ever shot on Rainy Lake, but maybe the Linders did one. I don't think there's that many good ones. Gussie did a few, Scott Martin Challenge, but that was in an area Devo's never going to find.
And that's in an out of bounds area too. You're not even allowed to go there in the tournament.
You're allowed to go there in Dom's side bet though.
Yeah, maybe. That wasn't in the parameters, but yeah, he'll never find that anyways. Be a big haul in this 18-footer.
You think he's lost out there?
No, I think he could probably navigate half decently. He's got a lake master. And
that'd be a tough lake to just show up on because there's a lot of blue water on the map. There's a lot of good-looking shallow stuff.
Yeah, you know what though? The one thing though is I think it's easier to navigate than Lake of the Woods.
Yeah, less channels,
less islands. More open water. Big defined bays, big defined spawning bays.
Yeah, and the bays are just
huge.
Yeah, and the little bays just kind of are little. They're more just big pits.
Yeah, we call them creeks. That's what me and my buddies always call them as creeks. The ones that the ones that aren't the name. Mainstay, top 10 big bays.
Yeah, well, we should probably call him and see how he did before the show's over.
Call him right now. Can we do that?
Yeah. While you're getting them, speaking of info, did you see what happened to Jeff Sprague on the MLF?
Actually, I did. Someone sent it to me. I didn't read it. I just know he basically got DQ'd or whatever, had to give back his prize money he won, right?
Yeah, I guess one of those anonymous social media guys like Randy Flowers or something exposed the text, the screenshots of the text, and the day later MLF made the announcement, and I read Sprague's apology today, and it was his statement, and it was just I received information, that's it. So pretty much just said I cheated and looking forward to the next one. I like Sprague too, so I don't but
I've only ever talked to him once on the phone. I've never met him in person, but he's been catching them at all of them though, hasn't he? Pretty top guy. I don't follow that at all, to be honest. But
I don't know. I haven't followed him since since he was on the elites, but he's killing it there. He's a pretty quiet, humble guy, but
he was on the elites, eh? I thought he went from FLW to. He went right from FLW.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
he was
we were
the
watching.
Second best guy in MLF for a couple of years, though, money-wise. I think it was Wheeler and then him. I could be totally wrong. I don't, like I said, I don't follow that. But
no, they're both known for info weaseling.
I guess, yeah.
Oh, here's Devo.
Let's see if he answers.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, you're on Brucey's podcast. We want to hear the Rainy Lake report.
What? I'm on his?
Yeah, bud.
Yeah, you're on speakerphone.
What did you say?
Nothing. We just want to hear what you caught. We were talking about your side bet with Dommy.
Well, the bet was just if I'd go or not.
No, it was for 15 pounds. Did you catch 15?
It was not.
You didn't catch 15, did you?
Hold on, let me turn on the scale.
You don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It kind of got overwhelming with the 2-pounders, so we stopped weighing lots of them.
You definitely went to the North Arm then.
Yeah, I would say so.
1424.
Okay, so you got tomorrow to do her too, eh? We'll give you that.
Tomorrow?
Are you not fishing tomorrow?
No, we're leaving at 5 a.m. I work tomorrow.
Okay. Well, good effort. That's a good first day on the pond.
Bryce said if you would have got 15, you would have got the day off.
No. I'll go upgrade it right now. I can go upgrade it.
I'm just bugging you, bud. Okay, we're gonna keep rolling on this though, so we'll talk to you. I'll see you in the morning.
Awesome, sounds good. Thank you.
Good job, bud.
Yeah, good effort.
That's solid.
A for effort.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Bye.
See you, pal. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, Lake just got stomped on and it's fishing tough.
It's never been there.
Yeah, water dropped 55 inches in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's not going to be a real easy place to go fishing.
Yeah.
The weights weren't that great this year overall, really. I mean, they weren't in the bronze back either.
Yeah, no, it surprised me. I thought it was going to be, a little better than it was.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some local derp stuff to get into. What else is written here? ICAST. Look at any of the ICAST stuff.
No. I got like an email or a call every 10 seconds for a week about ICAST stuff, and yeah, I just sing the same story to them all. It's just not for me. I mean, I'll look at the order sheets and the new products. Boys, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. It's not my thing.
What's the report from there? I keep hearing like lots of grogging and just people telling me not to ever go. So I don't really know what the insider edge is.
Yeah, you would not like it. No, no. It's like a bunch of dudes wearing jerseys trying to sell stuff, I guess.
Deadly.
Yeah.
Trying to sell themselves too, no doubt.
Yeah, there's some flexing.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least Best in Show didn't. Oh, I don't know what one Best in Show. Usually it's like some googly-eyed eel or something. I think it was. I think the Z-Man, that crazy new topwater, the Hellraiser one, the like new hard bait.
No, it didn't. I just got off a call with Glenn at Z-Man, and we were laughing about this. It was
not the Berkeley knockoff.
Berkeley knocked off a chatterbait and won the best lure or whatever. And we were like, oh, a bladed jig. Never would have thought of that. Like,
yeah,
it was pretty funny.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Smeltinator got ripped off again. I was looking at the briefing. It's called like the Bryan new, I don't know, bad little swim jig or something. It's whatever. Ripped off all the time.
What brand this time?
Greenfish.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. Yeah, no knock to him. He did save my ass down south.
Yeah.
My boat drifted off and he
No, she's been knocked off a healthy dozen now.
Yeah.
Take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
For the most part. Fire a few chirps when needed. And
Yeah. No knock to Greenfish or Bryan New though. Like I said, he saved my ass down south, and all I did in return was muddy up his bass boat with my dirty boots. Well, the Googans have $300 rods out. I'm sure those will be good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all we got for that. Hey, I did forget on the last one to shout out Robbie Rez and his brother Chris on winning Shoal Lake. We're a podcast that covers local derbies. Totally skipped your Robbie Rez. Good job. Dean the Boulder Smith came in with Dean Tack 0.02 behind him. So, I mean, they essentially had the same weight.
Yeah.
It kind of depends when you weigh in. So, congrats there, guys.
Yeah, I was pumped for Robbie. He's fished out there as much as anyone, and guided out there for years. And good dude. He's helped us at the Mid-Canada Boat Show every year since it started. We'll never take a penny. Set up, clean up, work a little bit in between. He'll never take a penny. He'll barely let you buy him a beer, just like a really good, solid dude. Yeah, no, I was super happy for him.
Yeah,
Good
me
guy.
too. Me
Good
too.
guy. It's nice when the good guys win.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Benny and Allie won the bronze back.
Yeah.
Benny's been second in a bunch of major tournaments. Like, he's been second in KBI twice with Jimmy. He's been second in Bassin for Bucks. So to see him pull off a win in a 120 boat field and beat on him pretty good. Like, he had a pound more than Uncle Oates got second with Holden Dent. So
No kidding, eh?
Yeah, and Lency rolled in third. So
Uncle Oates, he got second. Good for him.
oh yeah, bud, he still got her.
Yeah, no kidding.
Be good to get him on.
Yeah, like About this time of night,
Yeah.
pretty studly.
Yeah, you catch them too late, you're going to get not quality content too early.
Either way,
Maybe
it's
not.
going to be as funny as funniest person. I mean,
Hands down.
Him and imagine putting him and like Matt Robertson on at the same time. It would just be like unbelievable.
Yeah, like he would just be able to recline and watch.
Yeah, two guys that could just light you up.
Yeah, so I mean that was tough fishing too in that tournament. That was the hardest I've ever worked.
Lency got third. Cool.
Yeah, bud.
I
Got her.
haven't looked. Stephen Lundeen. Man, he does good in a lot
Yeah,
of derbies, eh?
they got second last year.
Yeah, and
Zimmerman and Amanda, they did good, and they're like,
Hayden Martin, Bennett,
yeah,
nice.
Cole and
Forsyth, you. Yeah,
there's
cool.
us. Yeah,
Good roster.
tough fishing, man. Horrible. Like I just went pre-fishing in the evening, and I was like, okay, well, 17 should be no problem, and they just ghosted. I never lifted the trolling motor so much in my entire life, like. Just deep, shallow weeds, like cycling until we ran into 5 fish a day. It was absolutely pitiful. So,
No, I know the feeling, man.
Yeah, you're on a lake with way less bass too.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling.
So, yeah, it was tough on Rainy, tough on Bronzeback.
I have to put the work boots on for KBI.
Yeah. So
those of you who don't know, we fished KBI together since we were like, I don't know if we were 17. 18 maybe?
I think we were 18.
Yeah, 18.
It would have been after like the first year at college.
Yeah, it's been a while, hot minute.
We treated it a little bit different than some of the young anglers now.
Yeah,
It was kind of like party first, fish second for a bit.
I remember so many nights walking back to your mom's place where we used to stay, and like guys that lived that way would be driving out to go to practice already.
Yeah.
Like, walking back with a bunch of people. Kevin Medlin would be honking his horn at me, or trying to think who else. There was like 5 or 6 people who would see us, and we, I think we did pretty respectable for.
Yeah, we got. I'm a stats nerd, so I remember we got 30th the first year, which was like good. That was 150 boats first year, 30th, and then the next year, you sold your boat the night before the tournament. Grosnick was like, no, if I'm buying this, I'm taking it now. And we rigged up my 96 17-foot Champ. It had I'll never forget this, Velcro eye-finder portable GPS was the rear electronics. A Velcroed on portable graph.
We definitely didn't need a depth finder or a GPS back then.
No, but we had one, and we put that little sucker through the tent.
Yeah.
That was badass.
Yeah, no, I remember that very clear. Terry, what did we do? We put a trolling motor on it the night before or something.
And a big graph up front.
Oh,
yeah. We were stacked on the bow, and then the rest was just like.
I remember Terry McClymont helping us till like 10 p.m. the night before the tournament.
Yeah, him and Darren,
that's right,
totally saved our asses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of those things you'll never forget. Like the tent, we kind of take the tent ride for granted a little bit now, but like back in the day, that was. It still is. That's the goal. Like, it's hard to get there. You get the mega crowd. It's probably one of the biggest crowds in bass fishing. Like,
yeah, Fort too. Yeah. I didn't realize how much I took it for granted until this week when I didn't make it. Like, first time in, I don't know how long, and
sitting there watching. It's like, okay, well, it's not that easy to make.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't even that. Like, we've got lucky a few times and made it into it. Like, just.
Yeah.
There's something that looks good and it ends up being the deal. Like
me
and McNanny,
in KBI too.
Yeah, me and McNanny were good at that, just like stumbling onto something. But I think what really got me was hearing some of the speeches. Like Dave Lindsay had the speech of all speeches. Like half the guys in the crowd were crying, and it was about how he's done it with his dad, he's done it with his brother, he's done it with his wife. Like he used to be the Rainy Lake Hammer.
Yeah.
Or the everywhere hammer, pretty much.
And still can swing.
Yeah, and he made it through the tent with his daughter, and to see like how much that meant to him, and talking about that, and he was tearing up, and everyone was tearing up. I was standing beside Samsel, he was tearing up. It was just like, I can't even tell you what the speech was because I can't remember it word for word, but it was just like, it made me appreciate how hard it is to actually make those 10 cuts in all these tournaments, and how much I've probably taken it for granted the last 10 years, you know, just
Yeah.
stumbling your way into them all the time.
Yeah, that's cool. I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah, no, it was something, man. It was, especially from him, because like you see how hard he works. Like, you know, I got a new boat. He's all up to date on the gear. He's like, I'm fishing till dark every day there, and he's pulling into the gas station same time as me to fill up his boat, you know.
And yeah, cool thing I will say about Dave too is he's never, like in a lot of these tournaments, a lot of guys stack their teams. You know, Bryan and I do it in KBI, but we also fish bass and for bucks with our wives, and Dave's kind of the king of that. With, like you said, all the different people he's you know, got kind of hooked on tournaments that, you know, I'm sure he's pulled buddies into, and that's kind of, I mean, you hear like growing the sport all the time, while like stacking your team in every tournament every weekend isn't growing the sport. You know, it's kind of a selfish move. So big shout out to Dave for kind of, you know, spreading that reach.
Yeah, it's cool to see how hungry some of those guys are, man. Like Billy Gooden too, like practicing hard, you know, fished with a kid that I got a lot of respect for, Nolan Man, and yeah, it's just like hungry. Like,
yeah, it's cool to see that it's
like,
not gonna like go away.
Yeah,
you know,
some of those guys are just hungry, man. Like, you know, poor Billy, all his water's gone for KBI. Like, it's out of bounds now, and he's, you know, he's a gamer. He's coming. He's, you know, he's gonna show up, and you know, I don't know about you. I'm just as scared of him still. Like, it's
yeah, dude. And he's like, he gets jacked up too. Like, him and Goldie took off in front of us and had a Koken, and I remember Billy looks over and they gives a big fist bump like on takeoff.
Yeah,
like he's got it in his veins.
Yeah, he wants to
go
win.
hard.
He wants to win, both those guys. Tons of those guys. Stooner, you know, it's cool. It's
Kezi, still just
hungry.
living off it. So I mean, that's like the cool thing about tournament fishing. Like, there's no other sport where you can like wake up in the morning and know you still have a chance to be competitive against people in their like athletic prime.
Yeah,
you know, that's what's sweet about fishing. So
100%.
Yeah, when you start to get old and fat and tired, you can still swing, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And there was like some local teams that made the tent too, and you know, guys that have never done it or haven't done it in a long time down there, and to hear them talk about it, you know, like how much it meant to them, and you know, it's pretty it makes you you know, appreciate it a little more maybe.
Corey and Chase Curtis.
Yeah,
that's
unbelievable.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I took him fishing when he was like, God, I don't even know how old he was. It was the year we mashed 20 in Rocky last day spinnerbaiting.
Yeah.
He practiced with me that year.
Okay, I didn't know that.
BT jersey, little kid, frizzy hair.
Yeah, I remember him they got second to us at Lake Despair.
Yeah.
And I like legit felt bad. Even though like, you know, we were still young they finished second and he was so young at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how old he would have been, like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, I can't even remember how old he would have been when I took him. He was young.
Yeah,
and,
so that's cool. I mean, and Mike Maxon and Java Maxon.
Yeah, they were talking, you know, he got pretty emotional too, talking about how, you know, it meant a lot to make the tent, and it was cool to see.
Yeah, like he ground from the bottom up. Like, you know, he was getting 10 pounds in the first couple tournaments. And now in the fall one, did a fall one on Rainy, and they got second in that too, like mashed him.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's obviously the time's paying off, and yeah, Peterson's gusty, and you know, Matei from Kenora won, and his partner Ian, and I mean, it's good to see like a good, you know, and Goldie and Carlson, a bunch of shout outs, Gussie second, in Moyna. It's good to see like a good mix in the top 10. It's like a, you know. Instead, it's not just the same top 10 every year. Like, same with the bronze back, you look at it, and there's, you know, only 3 people in there were in the top 10 last year.
Yep.
So, cool to see the mix.
Bell and Burnsy, like, yeah, they stroked them. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, bud. Makes
you hungry for the next one.
Yeah. I just remembered another KBI story from that year we were running the old champ.
Okay.
I remember on the last day, we were launching at Anishinaabe, and I was just like walked by the prop and gave it a spin, and the nut was stripped right off of the prop.
That's right.
It was just floating
20
there.
miles an hour all the way to where we went.
No, we just couldn't use reverse.
Okay.
We couldn't put it in reverse for the day.
Story checks out.
We had to drift in. Yeah. that was freaking wild.
Yeah, back when we used to spend $200 a day on spro frogs on pike.
Yeah, we'd catch one largemouth and
Go through 20 frogs to do it.
yeah, it was a good recipe. You didn't want to be the accountant back in the day trying to figure out derby expenses.
No. I remember we used to just, like, we'd have our tackle and then we'd just have a cardboard box full of frogs.
Yeah.
Not, too many to organize. Like, just grab a new one. Pike.
Yeah. Oh, pike cut mine. I need a new one.
Yeah, real smart.
Yeah, whatever. That's part of growing up. I mean, we had to learn the hard way too. And every like old grumpy bastard says that too. The learning curve just gets shortened more and more every year. But there's something to be said about grinding up through the ranks.
No, yeah, we definitely did that together over the years. That was fun. Good memories, and
Yeah, bud. We never actually had. There weren't that many people our age that would fish the big tournaments like that. Like Jeff Ingstrom and Connor Burton.
It definitely wasn't as cool back then, and it was definitely, I always think about this, that we were very fortunate to have linked up because, otherwise I don't know really what would have happened with either of us if anyone was that hungry back then to keep going to all of them, and,
Yeah, because you could easily take a look at your life on the weekend when everyone's going out partying and camping and being like, oh, I'm going to fish a tournament.
Yeah.
But if you got a buddy to like bounce it off of and share the passion with.
Yeah, no, we definitely put our time in there as kids, and
yeah,
still do. And
yeah, I was lucky to have gone fishing with you. I think the first time I went fish, I was like, oh, I was fishing every day, guiding, didn't have a damn clue what I was doing. Like, didn't have any buddies that were hardcore into it because they just really didn't exist. There was like Dubchuck, Burton, and Chad Reynolds and Carson back in the day, and that was the only people I knew that fished.
Yeah, Dubber, Burton, and Inky, they've been gamers for a long time.
Yeah, but anyway,
they're a year younger than me, I think 2 years maybe.
Burton's the same age as me.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so it was like, okay, you're just, you just go fishing, and I was like, I must be okay at fishing, like I do it every day. And I went with you and got absolutely destroyed. I was like, oh shit, like I gotta up my game. So I mean, and that's kind of how it's been. Like, you have someone at a high level that you're kind of comparing yourself to, and it's kind of, that hasn't really changed for us over the years.
Yeah.
Except for that first couple of years, I was like notably worse.
That's all good. I can't remember that even. I thought you were always a stallion right from the get-go, but no, we were lucky, man. Like you look at our crew now from back then, and it's like murderers row. Like Jeff, me, you, Nanny, Ryberg, Jay, Troy. Like you just keep going.
Scotty.
And like, Scotty. It's good.
Goalie.
Carlson. We're super lucky to all have each other and push each other, I think, and learn from each other. And I think if you could add 6 more guys that we're real close with to that list, and you throw them all in a hat, and we've almost all fished together to some extent, be it tournaments or lots of fun fishing, or like I fished a tournament with pretty much everyone on that list but Carlson I could think of.
Yeah, that'd be a wild ride. That'd probably be pretty fun.
Yeah. I think Andy could catch him too.
That's been proven. Yeah, that's been proven.
Good. But yeah, no, it's cool to look back on kind of the whole ordeal now. Yeah, memory lane, bud. Bunch of wood on the wall and
Yeah, I remember every one.
Yep.
What else you want to talk about? Opens qualifications? I think this is the only fishing podcast that hasn't touched on it yet.
On like how you got to fish them all to get into the elites now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough.
I haven't made a comment on it because I was kind of like waiting to wrap my head around it a little bit.
Trying to think of the best way to verbalize that without sounding like a dick. It's tough for someone up here, and it's tough for people down in the States. Like I have a lot of buddies that are, so do you, that are phenomenal anglers that are definitely good enough up here and down there, and to be handcuffed to having to fish all 9, which probably is going to go from like January to October if I had to guess.
Yep.
That's, and work a job or do whatever you got to do, you pretty much got to somehow. It's tough.
Yeah.
You either got to be a kid with daddy's credit card.
Yeah.
Or someone without a family and willing to max out your visas, or
I guess
there's not too many scenarios that like put the people that need to be there. You know what I mean? It's tough. Even like I'm super lucky. You know, I've went all in and it worked on business ventures and fishing, and even like for me, like I don't know if I could even do it. You know what I mean? And I'm my own boss. Like it's a lot of time, man. That's
and if you're not following or don't totally know what we're talking about, the Bassmaster Opens series, which is the qualifier for the Bassmaster Elite Series, recently announced that you have to fish all 9 of their tournaments. There's 3 divisions of 3 tournaments. Bryan and I have each fished one. He did a couple of years ago or a few years ago, and I did one this winter. But now you have to fish all 9 to be eligible to qualify for the Elite Series, where before they just took the top 3 from each division and then the top 3 overall.
Yeah, so you could cherry pick a division. So like say for me and you, like the Southern Opens would work good because they historically go from January till May. You know, you still have your summer up here. It's a good time to get away from the weather and everything up here. It's not a bad time to get off work. 3 tournaments, you know, 6 days, even if you do have to take 2 weeks off per tournament, which you don't, you know, it's not the end of the world. But
well, you kind of do.
Yeah.
Because when I went down, I took like the Thursday off, pretty much got there Friday night.
You had a short practice, I remember that.
Yeah, and it wasn't, I still had like 4.5 days, which...
But you only got, like, they used to have official practice, which is
3 days.
3 days where you're not allowed to fish with anyone, get any help or whatnot. Like, you know, some of these guys have guides out there or whatever else, getting shown around the lake pre-hand. But those 3 days leading up to the tournament is like you, and you're allowed to take a co-angler or a media guy if you get permission, as far as I know.
Yeah.
You know, so basically you showed up, I bet you were last guy to get there, if I had to guess. Maybe there's an elite guy who was around the same.
Yeah, and that was leaving on Thursday.
Yeah.
So like...
So you had Friday, part of Friday,
yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? Because it starts Wednesday.
Yeah, and when the tournament was over, I had to drive 24 hours through the night to make it for work on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I was dead. Like, after that day, I just went to bed and slept till the next morning.
Yeah.
So, 2 weeks is almost a prerequisite for them when you're coming from here.
Yeah.
If you want to compete.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're talking about 18 weeks off a year, over 20 grand Canadian in entries. And, they haven't announced any changes to the payout. So, the whole big thing for this is...
coming from up here, you're looking at that in fuel, too, easily.
Yeah, it cost me entry, fuel, sharing a house with 2 other guys, and eating, we had beef tenderloin one night, but other than that, it was like eating like a dirt bag. So, and that was $5 grand US.
In expenses.
Yeah.
Entry in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're looking at 50 coyotes US to play game.
Yeah, and if you cash a check and get 20th place in every tournament, you're still in the hole.
Yeah. And
you get to go to the Elite Series. So it doesn't really make sense in that regard. It's kind of just setting up for either someone who, is just totally hungry and is fine sleeping on the floor and not having a mortgage or anything, like a coop.
Yeah.
Grinding.
He don't mind sleeping.
No.
The clothes he wore that day.
No, dude, he sleeps in these frickin' tent parks, and he'll have these kids will pull up to him with a $400,000 motorhome, and he's sleeping in a $30 Coleman on the ground.
Yeah, no, and he stayed here. There was I don't know, I can't remember how many guys were here, 5 or 6 or whatever it was. And there's beds everywhere, couches everywhere, adequate amount of pillows and blankets, and he's just goes to bed in his clothes. No blanket, wakes up in those same clothes and gets at it, just a machine.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I knew he was something something else. I went fishing with him in October. I was in Toronto a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we're going to go fishing. He was like, yeah, we'll go to Rice Lake. Okay, right on. It's like freezing cold, like 0. He doesn't even have a rain suit. Like he's wearing his mom's Sorel boots. They looked like for a set of Bugle Boy denim. And like he had the top half of his rain jacket, the bottom half he left here. I was like, okay, what are we pre-fishing for? Nothing. Okay, they usually have tournaments out here in the fall? No, never. Is it good in the fall? No. I was like, so you're just going to come out here, fish all day, knowing it's going to be bad. We got like 3 bites all day for no reason. Wow. It was like something is different with you. And then one of the days at Cherokee, I saw him practicing, and his boat would not slow down before he was on the front trolling motor. His entire practice consisted of him looking like how people do when they have 0 fish in the last 10 minutes of the day. Yeah. Like insane. Yeah. He's something different, so he's the exception to the rule.
By happenstance, I met him in a boat lock going from Toho to Kissimmee in Florida. I had no idea who he was, and he had a little bass boat. I think it was an old Nitro.
It was
like a 18-footer maybe, or a 17-footer. It was real small, and it said Durham County Tourism. I had no idea what that meant even. I mean, that's 24 hours, that's the same distance as Florida from us. And Bree happened to be in the boat with me, and she was like, oh, that's back by where I'm from. So then I'd seen the Ontario tags on the boat, and we started talking, and his dad, and super nice. Yeah. So we actually became friends that way, and went out for dinner a couple times, whatnot. And anyways, his boat was the biggest shrapnel mess I'd ever seen to date. I'm sure he's tightened it up, but like I'm talking a soggy cardboard box, like with all the hard baits stabbed in it and just a plastic shrapnel in the middle. So it was like the second last day of practice there, and I get a couple calls from him, call him back, and it's like, are you on Toho or Kissimmee? I'm like, Kissimmee. He goes, okay, well, come find me. Do you have any worms I could borrow? And I'm like, do I have any worms in Florida? Yeah. Like, what do you want? Like gator tails or Sankos or speed worms? Oh, whatever. Just any worm. Just ran out of worms. Okay. I'm like, all right. He's on a different level. I like it. But yeah. No, he could catch them. Yeah. Well, obviously, he's smoking them, right?
Yeah. I think he always had like the drive and the passion, and now I think he's like incorporated some of like the, like bringing worms to a tournament and owning a rain suit. I remember he looked at me. I put my bibs on in front of him. That day he had no rain suit, and he looks at me. He's like, "Those are the deal, eh?" I was like, "What? My bibs?" He's like, "Yeah, those are good." He's like, "This is my first year with a rain suit." He'd been fishing tournaments since high school.
Yeah, I wish they lived closer. They're good people, man. Yeah, his mom and dad too, and
yeah, his dad partied with us a little bit after Cherokee, and he
like
had
the stories you hear, like him and Danny, like just like going to big derbies and forgetting a net, and like yeah. I talked to Cooper quite a bit. Yeah, we forgot our net, had to grab them all, and
Yeah. So if you don't know, we're talking about Cooper Gallant, Canadian fishing prodigy. He's killing it right now in the opens. He won the one I was at. He won Cherokee. He just got third in 09. He's second in the overall points. He's going.
He's going to the show. It'll be cool to see, because I think he's one of those guys that can just go do it.
Yeah. I call him like the Canadian Brandon Palaniuk.
Yeah.
I think that's and he's probably going to exceed like anyone's expectations.
No, I fished with him for a few times, and like we were flipping a stretch once in Florida together, and I mean he tanned my ass, and I think I could flip pretty good. Like, he could catch them like doing anything. We fished a few lakes out here too. We fished woods. He caught some bass. We went to Atacocan for half a day. He could do it all. I've seen enough. I think he's a pretty well-rounded.
Yeah, no, and good on the media front too. Yeah, easy to talk to. Like, he's not a little bitch, and he does his job. Yeah, he's a hammer.
Nice guy too.
So head over to his stuff. We'll probably have to dial him up here. Well, actually, I wanted to talk to him and Danny, because Danny beat his ass on the St. Lawrence a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, he's a good dude too.
Yeah, so he's going down to I don't know, one of those. I don't even know how the team trails or whatever. All that stuff lines up, but he's going to something cool.
Right on.
So,
what else you got on the docket here?
We covered her all. Like, I didn't really prep for this one because I bullshit with you enough. I didn't like have to do a background investigation on you to know what to ask you, or like make sure you're not a weirdo or don't say anything weird like that. You know, that's all things you have to take into consideration when you're running a podcast. But
yeah, we've kind of talked, like, we talk almost more than once a day most times, and we give each other the reports, so it's kind of feels weird repeating, you know, if we were to talk about last week.
Yeah, but we haven't talked about like old KBI stories in a while.
Yeah, let's go into that. That'd be good. What's a good one? What's one of your favorites?
No, I mean, like, that's what we covered. I mean, we don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure we got a bunch more.
Yeah.
We didn't really get like that into them.
No.
Oh, I do have a plug here. It's Dom's birthday. I told they have this new website at like Sports Headquarters. They've always had a website for the last few years, but there's it all got revamped and it's really badass. And there's like a point system now. So if you yard sale half your paycheck on tackle, you get like
2%.
You at least that's pretty deadly.
Yeah, credit card points, same thing. So
yeah.
And
if you use your credit card, you get that too.
Yeah. No, it's good. He thinks of everything. He's the man. The whole crew. We got a good crew.
Yeah. So check that out, sportsheadquarters.ca, and start cracking some points. And 2% solid. I didn't realize it was that much.
It might even be 3. I should know this, but yeah, it was more than I thought. I think it is 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah. Shit, I can't believe it's his birthday. He told us, like, when I texted him and said, hey, do you want to go on the podcast? He was like, I got a birthday party to go to tonight. Like, he's too modest to say it's my birthday.
Yeah, I can't remember what he said in the group chat, but he's what a man.
Yeah,
next level human being. If you guys ever go into the Winnipeg store, make sure you ask for Dom.
He'll be there for sure. Yeah. So, anything cool new, like in the store last little bit?
She's pretty loaded up for KBI. I mean, I was looking, there was a couple new things that I'd never seen before. There were some cool new drop shot weights that were different shape. Tungsten. I don't know. There's a couple different chatterbaits in there. And Z-Man walls just slam jammed full.
Yeah.
More Z-Man than the rest of Canada, probably.
Yeah, there's almost like, I got those big, this isn't going like a mega sponsor plug, this is reality. Like, my boat has 4 huge Z-Man bait blocks all stuffed with baits, and then there's like, I got a little bag off to the side that has a little bit of Max Scent and a few Garys in it.
Identical situation. I copied your Z-Man bags because I've always used like freezer bags for 15, 20 years and just wrote, flukes, worms, creatures on it. And I was like, I own the tackle shop, so I should probably at least have some respectable storage solutions here. And I seen yours when we were out, and I was like, I kind of like those Z-Man totes. Those are nice.
Yeah.
Everything fit. Every brand fits in there perfect, and they got the dividers. And I got copycatted you on that one. I like it.
Deadly.
Yeah.
No, we got the same boat.
Yeah, same thing. I have a little baggie with like 3 packs of Max Scent in it. That's the other.
Yeah, gotta have a little Max Scent. You gotta have a couple of Garys on board. I've got I was looking at them the other day. I was dusting off I got few of the memorabilias in the garage the other day, and it was like 2015 or something. I rode Gussie's coattails down to Beaver Lake with Jimmy, his dad, and he was going fishing with Gary Yamamoto. He drew him as a co-angler. So I gave him 2 packs, and like back then, all we were using was Senkos. We call them Garys because Gary Yamamoto. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like I got to get these Senkos signed.
Yeah.
So cool. Jimmy brought them. I was like, yeah, Gary, like sign these up, bud. So Gary signed them. I gave 1 pack to Rob P. He's like a fellow Senko slinger. And I kept the other pack, and I always say, like, if I'm ever leading a big tournament and the Senko bites on, like I'm pulling out the Yamamoto signed Senkos. And I'm thinking now, I'm like, these things are so old. I'm probably just going to fall off the hook.
Well, did you hear Yamamoto got bought by like a, conglomerate, like I don't know what you call it, a distribution company, like a bigger company that owns a bunch of companies bought Yamamoto. I can't remember which one it was, but the word on the street there for a bit was that they changed the recipe to make them cheaper, and it was just like, when that got out, it was just like everyone was just shelving Gary's, like we're down to like nothing from last year's huge run because everyone's scared that the new recipe's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be scared too. Like Gary dialed it in. I don't know if he came up with it, but that's I mean that's a staple, that plastic.
Yeah. No, lots of cool OGs. Definitely lots. It's crazy to see the tackle evolution every year. Like every year, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, evolution and everything.
Yeah.
Graphs. Did you see that musky tournament series just banned livescope like halfway through?
Well, I mean, no, I didn't, but
We gotta get a drink before we get into this.
Okay.
I don't know. There's like some musky trail. I don't know how big it is. Maybe it's like a minor league.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, or something like that. Or up here.
No, like it was in the U.S., but they're like, I guess they have a series of musky tournaments, and they have a couple derbies left, and they announced that live scope and forward-facing sonar was out.
Right on. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like a catch-22 for me because we sell lots of forward-facing sonars.
Yep.
But I use it obviously. Like I've made money doing it. I was probably one of the first guys to have one up here and had a phenomenal year that year. And but that being said, now that everyone has it and stuff, and it's kind of like takes a little bit of the fun out of fishing. Your neck's always bent down looking. I miss the days where you go to Rainy Lake and throw a spinnerbait at the bank for 10 hours and pray to God you get 10 bites. And
not knowing where your next one's coming from or when it's going to happen.
Just outfish everyone, That's kind of how I liked doing it. And so what I think forward-facing sonar did was it made the good guys even better because they were the guys that found the spots. You know what I mean? Like it made the guys like
they could read like
Jeff, Stooner. It made all these guys even better because it made you more efficient on the deep stuff. Yeah, made it easier to catch them. You never make a bad cast, right?
Yeah,
you don't.
Yeah, you're 100% efficient. You don't waste a cast.
The problem with forward-facing sonar is it gave the chiselers an in to join the party. Like there's guys that never cashed a check before forward-facing sonar that were chiselers. Yeah. But now they're pretty good chiselers because they can play video games on them all day, that.
Yeah, they can they'll know the general zone someone's fishing but might not know the sweet spot, where now you can just wheel in and know the sweet spot without any kind of history.
And not only that, you can see how they're reacting. You can see if you got to feed them a minnow or a net or a jerkbait or a rig, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could play with them, and
I agree with that. And I said to Kaz too, I was like, he said it to me. He's like, if I shut your live scope off, you'll never catch another bass. I was like, well, no, I will, because
I'll go to the bank.
Yeah. Like I came up, we all came up without it, where now, like if you're just stepping into it, you're totally reliant on it.
Yeah. I mean, I won some tournaments like years ago prior to live scope fishing offshore, and I look at it now and I'm like, how did I even do that?
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Some minnow hanging tournaments and stuff, and it's like how lucky did I get?
Well, when the A-rig first started rolling, that's when it was like, okay, you just go to like all the Lake Master spots and just throw and that was like when we learned to cast at them, but we were just casting at where we figured the sweet spot was.
Remember when we figured that out? My birthday, 2012.
Yeah.
Party over. Still, I remember we felt like heroes figuring that thing out.
Yeah, we had like 25 pounds.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, they banned this thing. I guess like I don't know if they did it for like fish care, because you're gonna crack. So like muskies can't hide on that thing.
No,
not a chance.
No,
that's like a frickin' 4-foot being. So I don't know. Maybe it was that, like, or a lot. Like the argument you hear all the time is like the weekend angler that wants to compete can't afford it. Well, I mean, like, if you want it bad enough, you can afford it. Like, I never had a boat or graphs or anything when I was young, and like if you're thirsty enough for it, you'll find a way to work. It's not like it's $100,000. You can find a way. So if you're saying I can't compete without it, then figure out how to compete without it until you can afford it, and you'll be better off for it. Like John Coxtall doesn't use it.
No, and I mean, it's happening on some of those other lakes down south already, and I think it might eventually happen here where they just get throttled so much offshore that
I've seen it here already.
Where we can just go to the bank and play ball, and
that's how Fider won AOI, man.
You're probably right.
That's what he said.
Yeah, unreal.
So, but I mean, as far as banning it in tournaments,
I'm not for that, but there is it is a love-hate thing.
Yeah. I don't
enjoy bending my neck down all day.
No, dude, I got a ram mount 2 feet long.
Yeah.
And got all these new stretches you got to do now. Yeah. And it's just it's not it does suck a little bit out of the experience.
Yeah, and it's taking the hard work out of it for certain people too. People like you, it's allowing you to work hard. You taught me a lot with it. I think I taught you a lot with it too.
Yeah.
And seeing how you do it is pretty next level. How fast you move around and go, and so it can make you work harder. But then on the flip side, like I said, it can just kind of give the chiselers a ticket to the dance party. But I mean, still fishing.
Yeah. I mean, you do still have to figure out how to catch them. There were a couple walleyes on it the other day, and Ashley was running the trolling motor one evening. The walleyes were biting okay, but they were still pretty hard to catch, and she's looking at 2 of them just blobs on the live scope. And I was like, I'll give you $100 if you catch one of those in your next 3 casts. And she just threw it at it, didn't eat, threw it at it, didn't eat. There's a lot of fish that just don't eat.
Yeah.
And part of this game is identifying that. Some people find out quicker than others. And
we're giving it too much credit too. I never even told you how many guys' boats I had to jump in to set theirs up because they couldn't see their jig or a bridge piling.
How many of them were backwards?
But more than I'm going to say on the air. But
I've done about half that are backwards.
Yeah, no, there were some of them that just got the worst, And surprisingly, there was a few of the guys that called, customer service and just got bad settings. And, even Lumens, he's probably arguably the best historical offshore guy on Rainy Lake. His was awful. You couldn't see your bait. You couldn't see a log. You couldn't see a bridge piling. It was just completely set up horrible, Billy Giddens, too. His, you couldn't see your bait 10 feet in front of the trolling motor or a rock or anything. There's lots of them, and it's, So you kind of got to think of it that way. It's not, it is still work. There is still work involved with it. You still have to do your homework. But it's, I don't know. Yeah. I love it because we sell a pile of them.
I get that.
Sold today, but
I get that.
Between the 3 brands. But it's Target Lock. That looks cool for a few situations in the fall.
Yeah.
Being able to pan that head.
Yeah.
I haven't used it yet. There should be one here this week, but Johnny Austin had a different old school version of it on his, and it was a little too slow panning for mine, so I'm hoping this one's a bit faster, but man, there's a few places where I'd like to spot lock and just kind of sideways.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
That's going to be a
thing.
thing.
And then you're going to have guys like Christy, who's got one on the troll or one on the target lock system, one on the transom. It's just gonna that's when it starts getting out of,
Well, where do you draw the line where out of control is though? I've had
No, my deck looks like a goddamn storm tracker. There's 360 forward facing sonar, 3 graphs just on the deck.
Yeah. I mean, Ashley had that new
2 years ago. You would have just taken our bow graphs off for KBI.
Yeah, hopefully we can this year.
That'd be enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Man, there's this huge bog in Tug Channel. I mentioned earlier. Like, and I'm like, oh, it's just a little bog, it'll move.
No.
But like, I guess it's massive. The M&R, floating bogs are a touchy subject because they're aquatic vegetation. I don't know the science on it, but like, you definitely have to use some, I think, caution on placement, and I think there's a lot of red tape around them. So this thing is stuck with the current keeping it wedged in the tug channel.
Is it like right at the S corner or something like that?
It is at the docks.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So you can imagine how much current's there.
Came out of one of those big pockets. It's
Yeah.
one of those big ones. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's stuffed in there. So I don't know how that's going to look. Hopefully, like, anyone that's going down there at least goes and pre-fishes down there and like doesn't go screaming there at 6 a.m. and land on top of this damn bog. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to move or not.
Yeah. The sad part is if it doesn't, there's going to be some lunatics that drive all the way around.
It's not that far around.
No?
I don't know. Maybe it adds like 7 or 8 miles to your trip.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. But it's already a far trip.
Yeah. Far enough you can have a nap on it.
Yeah. So this area we're talking about on Lake of the Woods is called the Tug Channel. It kind of divides the north and south parts of the lake. It's a long, narrow channel. And when we were talking about it, I was just laughing. A few years ago in KBI,
We were leading.
we were leading the tournament, and there were a lot of boats fishing down south on Lake of the Woods, like, kind of 40, 50-mile run to get down into the juice kind of deal. And we were leading. You get to take off super early there, so there's like still fog.
6 or 6:30 in the morning or something.
Yeah, so we're blasting through, going 70-some miles an hour, and there's this couple in like a crest liner, and just kind of giving us the double hand wave, like, throwing up the double hand wave, and we're like, well, we look behind us, there's like all these boats breathing down her neck, and we're like, oh, and then we see a floating log, we're like, oh, they hit that log, like, we'll have to let one of these next guys get it. They're just tourists at a tourist camp. They came up, hit a log. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was Jeff Engstrom and Connor had stopped. They were a little further back, but still, I guess the nicest guys in the field, both paramedics. So yeah, way more quality humans than us, obviously, because we just blew past these people. Well, I talked to Jeff after, and he was like, I was like, oh, I saw those people hit that log, like, he mentioned it or whatever. He was like, no, dude, they spent the night there.
There's like 6 cabins around that point too. They could have gone to like.
Yeah, but they also got stuck there. Like, they obviously don't have the best like survival skills, but they spent the night in the swamp, in the boat, in the absolute center of Lake of the Woods with not a damn human around.
I was talking to Billy about this the other day. Like, I don't like going down south alone. Like, there's no cell service. I don't. Cause he was talking about trying to find someone to pre-fish for KBI with him, really, and I was like, or grabbing a cab, however the car. I was like, I don't like going down there alone. I'm just,
there's a lot of shit that could happen.
Yeah.
You don't think about it when you're young, but when you get a little older, it's like...
Yeah. I was thinking of a different KBI story. One year, I think we were leading or in second, and we definitely had a bunch of people staying out here, and definitely had, I think McNanny and Ryberg were staying here. They were leading. We were in second, maybe.
Yep.
And I was a little tired in the morning, and I was like, hey, Brucey, you want to drive? And I just took a nap, 1 hour and boat nap on the drive down, doing 70 miles an hour, day 3 KBI, going for the wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stories like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got all the boys are staying out here this year too, so I'm sure it's going to be equally as offside.
Yeah, so Ryberg, Adam Rasmussen are staying here.
Yep.
Billy Gooden and Jason Stengel, who's another Wisconsin hammer. They're all staying here, so it should be a pretty...
Yeah, the stories will be flying. I might just turn this on and like take care of the next podcast probably.
Well, it's going to be like such a diverse way we're all catching them too. You know what I mean? Like, I thought about that. It's going to be like,
yeah.
like the
Oh yeah,
like
crazy.
Yeah, like it's.
We're gonna be largemouth fishing in grass. Billy's gonna be in
the ocean.
And Rydberg and Rasmussen are gonna be in like crystal clear, pristine Whitefish Bay.
Yeah.
We're all fishing a different lake.
Like, there's gonna be like, no one's gonna give a shit about checking out each other's gear. That's for sure.
We're definitely not gonna be sharing any equipment.
No, or spots or intel or anything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
It'll be
pretty
nice.
cool.
You don't have to put like the defense on.
No, I thought about that a lot. It's just gonna be, you got the 3 corners of the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about this tournament. That's badass. Like, you can literally do whatever you want, and it can be won in any part of the lake, especially now that the river's closed. That's a whole new dynamic.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's going to set up a bit differently this year. And I mean, I haven't been out there. You know better than me how high the lake is, but I'm thinking it's high.
Yeah, man. My
all
dock
time.
is just like a pile of lumber on the shoreline. It hasn't dropped an inch all year.
Yeah, like all-time high. Still here.
Yeah, it's under a foot away from 1950, and it's exactly a foot more than 2014. Like, we're looking at all this 2014 stuff like, oh yeah, this will be good. We'll tack another foot onto that.
I ain't doing no 2014 memories after last week, that's for sure.
When do memories ever work?
No, I know, but like, just not even spot memories. I'm just talking about techniques and
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, I mean, that was 8 years ago.
yeah
Doesn't seem like it, but
yeah. And I think 14 set up differently too. The flood in 14, even though say the water was similar height in Rainy as it was this year for the tournament, 14 there was grass. Like 14, the water must have came up gradually
Peaked.
post ice out, where this year it was high and just kept getting higher. Like, there was no grass to fish.
yep.
So that kind of like threw a bit of a curveball there. Like, I was expecting, to get to fish a lot of grass and do my thing and just kind of put the trolling motor down and burn an area out and go into the next day. And it just wasn't there. Like, that stuff just wasn't there to do, And I haven't seen it out here yet, but I'm hoping that's not the case here too. But you never know. And,
Yeah, and without grass, you start looking at your livescope a little more, then you waste a half a day here and a half a day there.
Yeah, no, and that's what I told you. Like, that was the best practice I ever had on Rainy. We found tons of stuff on that thing, and they're probably just or more as vulnerable as shallow fish, I think. Like, they leave, like...
Yeah, well, a lot of the places you find them now, they're not, like, historically in, where before you would just fish, like, points and reefs, and that's okay. The fish are always going to use that. So if they ghost, but chances are there's going to be some fish using that piece of structure at some point in the day or the weekend, where if you find them in the middle of a bay, just on a mud flat, and oh my God, easy 17 pounds, there's 100 of them here. Guess what, partner? They go.
Oh, I know.
I haven't seen the mud flat thing work ever.
No, I took you to one last year during KBI, and they were all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, day 3 we went to it, and
Yeah, and I wasn't like questioning, I was never questioning whether they were there or not, because I've seen it, so many times.
Yeah, I mean, the year we won Bass and Brie caught like a 5-pound smallmouth, and I had livescope that year, and I was pumped. I pan over, and it's just like,
oh, good,
12 feet of nothing forever, and I'm like, oh,
erase that waypoint and pretend it never happened.
Yeah, big flat, whopper ploppered its ass, and that was it. And I've seen them load up on that stuff, and they're obviously going somewhere in or out. And that was another problem in Rainy, is like, where we found them, our logical guess was they were going further out, and they didn't. So you waste a bunch of time in a tournament looking for them. Like, neither you nor I or any of our friends are scared to go looking for them in a tournament, and
no,
it just wasn't the deal.
No, I mean, I think that's kind of where the threshold is in success is being able to find them in the tournament, because at the highest level you have to be able to do that. Like, a tournament can be won by pre-fishing for 2 weeks and just kind of gradually fleecing whatever's left of what you found, and you see that around here. Well, if you're at the highest level in the Elite Series or the BPT or FLW is only 2 days of practice now.
Really?
Yep. You have to be able to fish on the fly, and that's what all the greats can do. So, you know, when I see these people like pre-fishing for 2 weeks and, you know, getting to know every little this and every little that, like you might be able to survive and win a tournament on that, but it's really not. I don't think it's helping you in the long game. I think being able to show up on like no practice, maybe that's just how I look at it because I hardly get to practice now, so I'm just pumping my own tires on being able to. I just feel like when you're flowing, when you're looking for fish, I mean, you almost always catch them better in practice, right? And that's because you have an open mind. You're not afraid to try different things, and I think that's an important trait to have if you want to keep at this.
No, me and you've talked about that lots. I've had some of my best years when I had to, you know, grind my bag off at the store and would only get to practice a couple days. And you've had some of your best years when you know, practice at night after work for a couple hours and just go do it. And you know, there's something to be said about that for sure. And I think that was definitely a problem me and Lumen had because we both, you know, definitely weren't shook, and we're like, oh, let's go try this, let's go try that. All right, she's 1 o'clock, let's go hit the bank.
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk to like someone like Bennett, and that's his whole approach is just like, just go find him today. And sometimes he finds them at 10, sometimes he finds them at 11, sometimes he doesn't find them until the next afternoon. Yeah, just kind of rolling with it.
Miracle man, he just throws out a giant W every so often out of nowhere.
Yeah, just going fishing because he don't practice. Adam Baczynski.
Oh, I was going to talk about him tonight too. I was hoping you were going to ask me my KBI pick.
Oh, yeah, good call. KBI pick.
I thought about it when I was banging nails before he got here. I was like, what's he going to ask me? And I was like, I bet she's going to ask me a KBI pick. And I thought about it. I was like, I don't really have one. And then I was like, oh, God. Baczynski's like the 10-year.
All time, I think. Yeah. Billy Gooden.
Baczynski's definitely the 10-year MVP. Like, Billy obviously won it like 3 times in the last 10 years. But, like, Baczynski, like, man, me and you have derailed him in this tournament. Like, we haven't missed a tent ride since, like, I don't even know when. And
we missed one since 14.
Okay,
that's the stat nerd in me.
There you go. So it's been a minute. And, like, I don't know if we beat that guy other than the year we won.
Hardly
ever.
Even
the years we get second or third, like, I think he beats us.
Yeah, we beat him in 2017, 2014, and that's almost it.
So, he's of KBI.
Yeah, he's in the top 3. He's got more top 3s than anyone, and we're talking about
winging it, too. So last year, the top 10 in KBI has to launch at Anishinaabe Park the last day to wait. Can I tell this even? Or like PG it, or just tell it?
You can tell every story you want.
So we're waiting, like gates are locked still. It's 5 a.m. or whatever it is. Baczynski, who's the man, just comes and just drives right over the grass, launches his boat. Doesn't launch his boat yet. He's unhooking it.
He skipped the gate, smashed the curb, sent his boat into the air.
Yeah, I PG'd it a bit. So we're like, all right. Everyone just follows suit, like drives over the curb, over the grass. And he unhooks his boat and he pulls out, I haven't even seen one in someone's hand in 10 years, a paper map.
Yeah, 6201 into the woods.
This guy's been guiding out here, fishing out here. I mean, he's got like 2 cabins on the lake. Like he's, he knows the lake, and he's looking at it, and I'm like, Bruce, check this out. And I'm like, Baczynski, what the F are you doing? And he goes, just looking around to go fishing today. I'm trying to remember how to get over here. And I'm like, dude, like, turn your GPS. Oh, I haven't had a graph work on this boat in like 2 years, he goes. Like, no GPS, no depth finder.
Yeah, freewheeling
it. And he's like, I'm just trying to line up the islands so I could get down here quick. We haven't been down there in a few years. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I just think I ran out of fish. And
yeah, it's too many people fishing around.
Yeah, too many people fishing around me. I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah,
go down here. Biggest bag of the day, gets second.
Loses by like half a pound.
Yeah, tells us all the stories later. Like, so we got third last year, and we partied like we won.
Oh yeah,
we partied
did.
3 times as hard as the guys who won.
Well, you get the same
Pachinski-
cups. You get the same cups
Yeah.
first, second, and third. So we were drinking out of the silver cups.
Pachinski partied like he won the Super Bowl. Like he won the party for sure.
Yeah.
We partied hard and he quadrupled us. And the stories and how he catches them, it's just like,
Yeah.
you got to get him on here.
And
I
he
want to
bring-
come.
yeah.
I'll just be like a little sideshow Bob.
He'll have like, and we keep saying Baczynski. Andrew Biernaert's been fishing with him forever.
Yeah, both great
There's
guys.
there's so many stories about. I'll let him tell them. There's so many I want to tell, but yeah, I mean like 4 rods, totally simplified.
Yeah, scary man.
Doesn't like absolute minimal practice. You know.
How many teams were in KBI last year? 150?
Well, no, the border was close, so it was a low year. It was like 115.
So yeah, 114 guys got beat by a guy who didn't have a GPS or a depth finder,
Yep.
who paper mapped her.
Yep. And like not running 80 miles away to the river.
Do you remember
Like,
the
just
stories
fishing.
that night too? Like he was like,
No.
I we fished this one thing and we were driving, I seen this pocket and I was like, can I work that bay? And he was like, yeah, you could work. Like, that's what he kept calling it. Like, can I work that bay? And I was like, I think I got to work that whole bay. And then he's like, yeah, you got 1 4-pounder. And you get another 4-pounder. And I'm like, holy man, like just flowing.
Yeah. Every year.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time they missed the top 10 was. And even before that, even 15 years ago, they never missed a check. I don't know if they ever have.
No, and I don't think they throw out a bomb either. Like, there's guys that make the tent and throw out like a bomb bag. They always got like a respectable.
Yeah. Yeah, good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. I don't know why anyone would bet on anyone else.
Just like from him telling us how he caught him last year, I'm like, that's going to work way better this year. So,
Yeah. Well, good pick, man.
what's your KBI pick?
I'm not going against that.
No? Yeah.
No chance. No
Yeah.
chance.
There's some other good ones to be had.
There's plenty of good ones, but
Yeah, Jeffrey's on a heater.
Jeff's on a heater, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh. GoPro's dead.
You want a battery?
No, we can ride her out on here. It's just like wrap up. The audio is the same.
Okay.
It's just all from here.
Gotcha.
Center it. All right, well, let's wrap this sucker up.
Okay.
Anything else you want to touch on? You got your. I got to pick a KBI. You pick Baczynski. It's not fair to just piggyback it.
Yeah, Chinsky's going to catch him.
Baczynski and Biernaert. Well, you picked Gus. You took the 2 top picks.
No, I just said he's on a bit of a heater, so he's going to be tough.
Yeah.
When he gets rolling, he gets rolling.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not a.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
I don't know. McNanny fishing with his kid? He's
No.
thinking about it. He's not going to do it?
No, under 10% chance, he told me today.
Okay. How about Billy? River's closed. He's going to get his eyes open to some new water.
Angry man, too.
He's
Yeah.
pissed off.
Yeah.
He's got he's got a ringer from Sturgeon Bay, Jason Stengel. He's won a bunch of shit. So yeah, I'll roll the dice on Billy.
Yeah, no, he was on my list, too. Yeah, he's scary man on any pond.
We're not gonna be the douchebags that pick ourselves.
No, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while since we held that sucker up. Feel pretty good. Be quite the party.
Yeah, I'd be a good one.
Yeah. The last time we won, I slept naked on my stairs. And I had to work the next night.
You're the first guy kicked out of the tent that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was young, in my defense. I was young. So
Yeah. How young were we?
24 and 25.
That's respectable.
Yeah, I thought so. I really thought so that night.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Those are good times, man.
Yeah, bud. Well, let's repeat. Thanks for coming on.
I'll make a bi-monthly, every other month.
Oh yeah, we're gonna crank the camera up again here when all the boys are here, and
I want to hear some Billy stories on there. Like, there's probably
Like Angry Bill?
like some ruthless Billy KBI stories.
Yeah, we should just
about
leave the mic
catching 'em,
here.
About catching them, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like that. Well,
Back, he still has the weight record, I think. The all-time. Or maybe O'Connor does now.
O'Connor by far, yeah. But different times though. Like Billy got the weight record when guys were happy with 15 pounds.
Yeah.
So
Stomped on everything.
yeah, I mean it's all relative. So probably a little bit. I mean it's all impressive. I forgot about O'Connor too. I don't know if he's fishing or not. He's kind of crying about the river a little bit.
I heard he's not, but I haven't talked to him, so yeah. I
All
don't
right,
know.
O'Connor, if you're listening to this,
Sign up, bud.
yeah.
We want you there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're just gonna shut this off and probably gonna hang out here for a little bit longer, to be honest. So
Yeah, it's not even dark out yet.
yeah. All right. Well, do all the like, subscribe, comment, rate, review. Try to get us up to the 8th highest rated sports podcast in Canada. Check out sportsheadquarters.ca. Check out btfishing.com. There's lots of relevant stuff on there. Brian and I have literally almost hardly used any other different jig. We've always got something BT. It's not just we're not just blowing smoke up your ass. It's real stuff that, we
Gets
make and sell because it gets eaten.
Yeah.
It's as simple as
There's
that.
a reason she keeps getting knocked off.
Yeah.
It ain't because it don't work.
Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, thanks again for coming out. See you guys on the next one.